This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to everyone with an entrepreneurial spirit. That includes bootstrappers just starting out, established business owners, and business leaders. My goal is to help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Isaiah O'Connor. So, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible, audible.com, great place to go pick up audiobooks. And you never know when an audiobook can change your life completely, as it did mine. The reason I promote Audible so much is I've always been a bookworm. I've always loved reading, but lately I don't have time to sit down and read. It's a great way to absorb information. But also, it was because the book I highly recommend. I recommended it the other day on my remastered podcast, which is 48 Days to the Work You Love by Dan Miller. I was listening to that book while working at a job that was driving me absolutely crazy, cutting up veggies, working in a kitchen as a minimum wage cook. So it's the book that inspired me to break the cycle and get out and try to do something and strike off on my own. It's an amazing book. Go check it out if you're struggling with the position you're in, the career you're in, or even if you've started your own business and you're starting to get tired of it. Perhaps there's a reason. Maybe this book can help. Go check it out. You can get a free copy with a 30-day free trial from audible.com. If you use my code /bootstrap or /bootstrap, whatever, that's with a capital B. You can get a 30-day free trial. You get one credit that you can use for any book you want, plus 2 Audible originals, which you get to keep all these forever. And then you also get to listen to tons of other content on their podcast, other audiobooks that are in their library for you to listen to. And it's great. It's a really great program. Go check it out, audible.com /bootstrap. So today I am going to be talking about leadership. Once you have employees working for you, it's a nice thing to have extra help. And it may be very, very tempting to start leaving all the dirty work, all the menial tasks, all the thankless jobs to your new employee or employees, depending. For example, cleaning the bathroom, restocking your stock, whatever it is that needs to be done, the busy work type of stuff. It's very easy to leave that only to employees who can go off and do the more important stuff of running the business. And there is some truth to that, of course. Of course, when you have employees, you don't want to have your management team or yourself spending all day cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning the shop, restocking the shelves, doing the busy work. You do have more important stuff to do, of course. That's kind of a given. That's part of the reason you have employees, is to help you free up time to do the operation stuff, the running stuff, the marketing stuff, the sales stuff, whatever you're great at. So, of course, you are going to have your employees do busy work. Yeah, that's fine. That's part of the job. That comes with the territory, of course. The problem is if you become a boss attitude, get the boss attitude. What do I mean by the boss? Of course you're the boss. And there's a time to be the boss and step up and say, hey, I'm not your friend, I'm your boss, get moving. There are times when you have to take the leadership role and correct somebody, redirect their way they're moving, their attitude. You will have to deal with issues, and in those times you will have to be, quote unquote, the boss. In the sense of you're the person in charge, you're the person higher up in the hierarchy, you're the person who makes the decisions, and these people need to get with the program or get out. One of the two. There are times for that. However, if you become like a 5-year-old with their toy and become bossy, That's a different problem. It's a problem I'm working on with my kid. He can get rather bossy. He starts bossing his little brother around quite a lot because he's the older brother and he gets bossy. And that's the difference. Of course you're the boss. Of course you're the leader. Of course you're the guy in charge. But you want to avoid is being bossy. You want to be the boss, but not be bossy. Now, part of that is being willing to step up or step down, as it were, and do all the tasks in your business that are required to make the business run, no matter how menial. I'm not saying you need to do them or should be doing them, but be willing to do them if need be, and or if your employees need the help for some reason. For example, again, going back to Dave Ramsey is a great example. He does this. When they get the book deliveries in to stock up their warehouse full of books, they have the management team run down there and help unload the truck and put them away. He runs down and he helps out. Because when this comes in, it's a big job and he can't be pulling everyone off their other jobs to come help. So him and his management team will run down there and work side by side with the warehouse guys to unload the truck. They help out because they need help, and they can, and they're willing to do that. As a manager, if the bathroom needs to be cleaned, for example, and your employee is doing something else that's actually making you money, like selling something to a customer or something else, and you need to clean the bathroom, just go clean the bathroom. You need to be willing to go and clean the bathroom, do the dirty work, clean up the office, whatever it is, help restock, help put away things, help do the inventories, whatever these little tasks are, you need to do it from time to time and be willing to do it. And I think you should do these tasks from time to time while your employees are there. It's not really much of a leader if your employees are all on vacation, you're running the whole shop, and of course you're doing the things that need to be done because they are on vacation. And on that, another thing you don't want to do is if the employees are gone and you do all the tasks because you've been doing this for years and you got really good at it and you're really efficient and you've had to because you had no help, so you got really, really good at it, and your employees may not be as good at it. When they come back, don't lambaste them or lambast them, whatever the word is. Don't go after them for not doing the job as good as you do. I've had a boss that did that. I was gone for a couple of days. I came back. The boss was like, see, I did all my work and all your work, and I did it better than you do. What use are you to me? Yeah, it does not impart any loyalty when you have that attitude of, well, I'm the boss, I'm the best, I can do it better than everyone else. And if you're an employee, or if you've ever been an employee, you know those types of bosses. They like to tell you what to do. They find these petty little jobs for you to do, keep you busy, just because they feel like it. And it's a power trip. And when you come back from a few days off and they're telling you how horrible you're doing your job, it doesn't make you want to stay put. And if you're that type of boss, you're going to be losing employees. You're going to be cycling through them. You're going to have a high turnover, and that's bad. But if you're a boss that is willing to be humble and realize, hey, we're a team. Yeah, I'm the leader of this team, but we are a team. We are in this together. We are working together towards a goal. And you are then willing to go down and help with the team and help do the everyday tasks when needed in view of the employees, not to show off, but so that they understand that you are willing to work with them. It's not a show-off thing either. You don't want to be like, hey, look at me, I'm helping you out. Look at me, I'm special. No, it has to come from a real place of humility, of just being willing to help out where it needs to be. And trust me, the employees can tell the difference if you're just being humble and just helping out because you're a great guy, or if you're just doing it to say, hey, look at me. I'm special because I'm helping you out and look how nice of a boss I am. You can tell the difference. You can completely tell the difference. You just pick up on it. And I've had, again, same boss actually, who would come in and help you clean up, but he did it to show you that he was helping, and you was very, very clear he was doing it to show off. It doesn't work. You have to be really humble, really willing to go down and help your employees do the menial tasks, the dirty jobs, what have you, because that will inspire loyalty, confidence, and feel like they're on a team, like they're part of something. They feel like they're part of something, they're part of a team, they're not just peons to be ordered around, that they can trust you to be looking out for them and helping. They're going to be more loyal. They're going to have a lower turnover rate. They will feel important, which will encourage them to be better employees, work better, work harder, work more efficient, because they're going to want to work for you. And they will also feel better about themselves. And in doing, if they're a customer contact person, they're going to treat your customers a lot better. If you've ever gone to a place where the management treats their employees like trash and you're a customer, you can pick it up because quite often the customers will let it out on you. If you go to a place where the employees are treated amazingly and they're treated like human beings that are working hard and they're part of a team, it really shows. And people who feel that way, feel like they're part of a team, provide much better customer service. Matter of fact, that's part of the reason Southwest Airlines was and is so successful. It's because the management, starting from Herb Keller on down, really realized that each employee was an individual and was different and had their own talent to bring and treat them well, and they were willing to come and help. Matter of fact, Herb Keller, partly to help out and part as a joke, the can't remember if he's the CEO, the top manager, whatever, the guy who ran Southwest Air, he would go on flights, and he'd sit there and he'd get up and he'd go help the stewardesses and stewards do the food cart. He'd go and he'd go deliver food, clean up the trash, and help out with them on the plane. And he was the top guy. He was the guy running everything. And not only that, he encouraged his employees to have fun with the passengers. Always a good thing. But because they knew he would work hard, and they knew he was a hardworking boss, but a nice guy who was really into creating a team and a community and a work culture of friendliness that started from the top and went all the way down, you fly in Southwest Air and you feel like you're being taken good care of. The employees are happy. They take care of you because they're happy. They take care of you like their bosses take care of you. It trickles down to the top. And conversely, I've gone to places where the management was bossy, ordering people around and barking and biting people's heads off all the time. And yeah, the people might be doing their jobs efficiently, but they weren't smiling, they weren't happy, they weren't friendly, nowhere near as much. And I've worked for places like that, so it's not a place you want to work at. So again, when you're the boss, you need to be really willing to be able to do all the jobs, to be humble, and do the menial tasks, do the bathroom cleaning from time to time. Again, you don't do it always, but you just have to do it, and not just do it just because you want to be a show-off, but because you really care about people. Again, it comes back down to my whole focus on value. When you provide value for people, when you hire people, you're providing value for them. When you hire a person, you're providing them a way to take care of themselves and their families. When you're providing value for your employees, they will turn around and provide value for your customers and value for you. See how that works? Value spreads. When you make someone feel valuable, they will treat others as if they were valuable. And that's kind of the point. That's the whole point of doing this. Doing everything else, letting them know that you're not above them. You're not like anything more better than them in the sense of you're both humans. Sure, your position, your title is higher than them. You're the boss. They are not. You started the company. They did not. You write the paychecks. They don't. That's fine. But if they get this feeling that, yeah, you hired them and you value them and you treat them as a human being and not just a number, not just another grunt, not just as a person that you treat badly just because you're the boss, makes a big difference. Matter of fact, the worst boss I ever had, which I've mentioned a few times on this podcast, was so bad at these things when someone didn't do things the way he quite exactly wanted them to do, a menial task, quite often, he would tell them, I sign your paycheck. You do what I tell you to. That doesn't inspire confidence. And this is the guy who also had every one of his employees walk off the floor at once and never come back. It wasn't a strike. It was a straight up, everyone just quit and never came back. Walked out the door. And the place lasted another, I think, 5 to 6 months before it went under completely and was no longer in business. Because he was very bossy. He wasn't a leader. And when he tried to be the leader that was the nice guy, no one believed him because we all knew who he was and what he was really like. And then when he'd come and do something like clean bathrooms right in front of us, we knew he was just showing off. So again, you gotta be humble. But the humility will come from really valuing your employees. Understand that they are people, they are humans. They are working for you, but in order for them to provide value for you, you need to find value in them. Again, I almost should rename this podcast the Valued Person Podcast almost, or something along those lines, because being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner, being a leader, being a manager, it's all about value. Finding value in your employees, providing value to your customers, providing value, being valuable. This is the most important thing, and it goes down to the core of the way you run the business. And the best businesses usually have that at a core where they value people and they provide valuable services. The best. So that's a great thing to do. Kind of goes back to that whole profit sharing bonus. When you profit share bonus, your employees feel valuable because they work together to earn the profit. Again, make your employees feel valuable. And I'll be hitting this subject quite a few times as we go forward because I think when it comes to being a leader, valuing your employees, valuing their skills, their talents, who they are as a person, is the key to running a good business and running a good team. When you value your employees, they become loyal and they do great things. Anyway, I'll leave it there. See you next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. If you found value in this content, please leave a comment and give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, and most other podcast platforms. If you would like to support us, you can check out our sponsor links, or if you'd like to support us directly, you can donate or join our membership program at buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. Of course, it really helps when you share these podcasts with your friends as well. If you'd like to interact with me and other bootstrappers and leaders, you can join us over at our O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, an Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For a companion podcast, the Atheoz Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair, past episodes and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com, which is at www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I have been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.